We have concluded that the UK chose to join the invasion of Iraq before the peaceful options for disarmament had been exhausted. Military action at that time was not a last resort. We have also concluded that the judgments about the severity of the threat posed by Iraq's weapons of mass destruction, WMD, were presented with a certainty that was not justified. Despite explicit warnings, the consequences of the invasion were underestimated. The planning and preparations for Iraq after Saddam Hussein were wholly inadequate. The government failed to achieve its stated objectives. The inquiry has not expressed a view on whether military action was legal. That could, of course, only be resolved by a properly constituted and internationally recognized court. We have, however, concluded that the circumstances in which it was decided that there was a legal basis for UK military action were far from satisfactory. In the House of Commons, on September the 24th, 2002, Mr. Blair presented Iraq's past, current, and future capabilities as evidence of the severity of the potential threat from Iraq's WMD. He said that at some point in the future, that threat would become a reality. The judgments about Iraq's capabilities in that statement and in the dossier published the same day were presented with a certainty that was not justified. It is now clear that policy on Iraq was made on the basis of flawed intelligence and assessments. They were not challenged, and they should have been. The findings on Iraq's WMD capabilities set out in the report of the Iraq Survey Group in October 2004 were significant, but they did not support pre-invasion statements by the UK government, which had focused on Iraq's current capabilities, which Mr. Blair and Mr. Straw had described as vast stocks and an urgent and growing threat. In response to those findings, Mr. Blair told the House of Commons that although Iraq might not have had stockpiles of actually deployable weapons, Saddam Hussein retained the intent and the capability and was in breach of United Nations obligations. That was not, however, the explanation for military action he had given before the conflict. The UK military role in Iraq ended a very long way from success. We have sought to set out the government's actions on Iraq fully and impartially. The evidence is there for all to see. It is an account of an intervention which went badly wrong, with consequences to this day. The inquiry report is the committee's unanimous view. Military action in Iraq might have been necessary at some point, but in March 2003, there was no imminent threat from Saddam Hussein. The strategy of containment could have been adapted and continued for some time.